AJ Lee's WrestleMania 42 match revealed. Saraya teases in-ring return. Seth Rollins, unsure if he'll be back for WrestleMania 42. WWE teases AJ Styles' final SmackDown appearance. Becky Lynch reveals plans to leave WWE. Major star responds. Huge update on Stone Cold Steve Austin's WWE return. Let's get started. WWE teases AJ Styles' final SmackDown appearance. WWE may be setting the stage for something huge, as SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis released a video message directed squarely at AJ Styles, and the timing feels anything but accidental. The message surfaced across WWE's social media just days before Styles is set to put everything on the line at the Royal Rumble. Speaking directly to the Phenomenal One, Aldis reflected on their long history and AJ's legacy on the Blue brand, making the invitation feel more personal than official. Aldis formally welcomed Styles to appear on this week's Friday Night SmackDown, saying he'd like the chance to sit down and talk with an old friend. He also reminded fans that SmackDown is the house AJ Styles built, adding that his door is always open. What makes this invitation so intriguing is what's looming right around the corner. AJ Styles is scheduled to face Gunther at the January 31st, 2026 Royal Rumble in a career-threatening match. If Styles loses, his in-ring career is over. No rematch, no comeback. With AJ's future hanging by a thread, Aldis' message raises some serious questions. Is this one last conversation before the fight of his life? A show of respect before a possible farewell? Or the beginning of something far bigger? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. AJ Lee's WrestleMania 42 match revealed. AJ Lee may not be grinding a weekly WWE schedule, but don't mistake that for inactivity, because when it comes to WrestleMania, her name is front and center. A new report from WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select says WWE has internally penciled in AJ Lee vs. Becky Lynch as a locked-in singles match for WrestleMania 42. After months of rumors and mixed signals, it looks like WWE is finally ready to deliver one of the biggest dream matches fans have been begging for. This also puts earlier doubts to rest. Back in January, questions were raised about AJ's limited appearances and whether she fit WWE's usual full-time booking style. The answer was simple: she isn't full-time and never needed to be. AJ's impact has spoken for itself. Her jaw-dropping SmackDown return on September 5, 2025 saw her flatten Becky Lynch, snatch the Women's Intercontinental title, and even come to CM Punk's rescue during a chaotic showdown with Becky and Seth Rollins. From that moment on, the rivalry was inevitable. Since then, AJ has wrestled sparingly, but effectively. She teamed with Punk to beat Becky and Rollins at WrestlePalooza and Survivor Series, War Games, where she sealed the deal by forcing Becky to tap out to the Black Widow. That finish felt less like a win and more like a warning. Now, the path is clear. AJ Lee vs. Becky Lynch, one-on-one, WrestleMania 42. WWE hasn't made it official yet, but all signs point to this happening unless something major derails the plan. So the question is simple: will AJ vs. Becky steal the show at WrestleMania? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. Seth Rollins unsure if he'll be back for WrestleMania 42. Seth Rollins isn't selling hope, and he's definitely not guaranteeing a WrestleMania comeback. Speaking with Men's Health, Rollins finally addressed the shoulder injury that's kept him off WWE TV since Crown Jewel 2025, where he suffered a torn rotator cuff. The injury ultimately cost him the World Heavyweight Championship after a shocking betrayal by the Vision on Raw. When asked if he'll be cleared in time for WrestleMania 42, Rollins kept it brutally honest. The rehab window is 4 to 6 months, he's progressing, but nothing is locked in, and setbacks are always a possibility. Don't know the answer to that yet. The timeline for shoulder surgery and repair is, 4 to 6 months or so. Did my rotator cuff back in October? I'm rehabbing, and as long as there's no setbacks, I hope to be cleared by the time WrestleMania rolls around in April. Even if his body says go, Rollins made it clear the decision isn't up to him. All he can do is rehab, stay ready, and wait for the green light. And as for fans questioning whether the injury is real or just another elaborate Rollins mind game, he leaned straight into the doubt, joking that his credibility is gone, his doctor's phone is open, and either way, it all pays the same. With WrestleMania 42 approaching, Rollins' status remains one of WWE's biggest question marks. Real injury or calculated misdirection, one thing's certain: if Seth Rollins shows up, it won't be subtle. So what do you guys think? Honest setback or another master move from the Visionary? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. Saraya teases in-ring return. Saraya isn't just talking about a comeback anymore, she's putting in real ring work, and the proof is out there. The former AEW star just dropped new training footage on Instagram, showing her back between the ropes and grinding through full in-ring sessions. The videos feature Saraya working closely with indie standout Vipress, running crisp fundamentals like tie-ups, headlocks, smooth transitions, and chain wrestling, looking comfortable, focused, and locked in. She even acknowledged the grind herself, thanking her training partners and admitting she shook off some ring rust while learning new things along the way. This lines up perfectly with what Saraya revealed earlier on her Rule Breakers podcast, where she said she's rebuilding from the ground up, improving her cardio, breaking old habits, and approaching wrestling with a completely refreshed mindset. What we're seeing now isn't casual training. It's intentional, technical, and serious. Earlier this month, Saraya also shared that she's been studying her old matches and diving into 80s and 90s wrestling tapes, carefully choosing which moves to bring back, evolve, or leave behind. Her focus, originality, respect, and purpose. And now, that vision is officially in motion. There's no confirmed return date, no announced promotion. But based on this footage, Saraya clearly isn't preparing just in case, she's preparing to come back. If she does step back into the ring, will it be at this year's Royal Rumble? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. Becky Lynch reveals plans to leave WWE. Major star responds. Is Becky Lynch really preparing to walk away from WWE? One major star isn't buying it. After more than a decade with the company, the man remains one of WWE's biggest names. She's currently holding the Women's Intercontinental Championship and is expected to be a major player heading into WrestleMania season. But during Season 2 of WWE Unreal, Lynch dropped a surprising revelation, suggesting this run could be her last. She openly shared that this is her final contract with WWE, while also speaking about the challenge of balancing motherhood with life in the ring. That statement immediately set off alarms for fans who believe big-time Bex may be nearing the end of her WWE journey. However, one person who knows her all too well isn't convinced. Lyra Valkyria, Lynch's former rival, flat out dismissed the idea during an appearance on Unlikely with Adrian Hernandez. According to Valkyria, nothing about Becky's current momentum suggests a goodbye is coming. She said she simply doesn't believe it, pointing out that everything is going too well for Lynch right now. Valkyria even joked that Becky might be talking about leaving to become president or something, but made it clear she thinks the claim is nonsense, calling it a lie. The skepticism is especially interesting given their history. Valkyria and Lynch were locked in a heated feud throughout 2025, which kicked off after Lynch betrayed Valkyria shortly after the duo captured the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania 41. So, is Becky Lynch truly nearing the end, or just playing mind games once again? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. Huge update on Stone Cold Steve Austin's WWE return. WWE insiders are buzzing over talks to bring Stone Cold Steve Austin back on TV sooner rather than later. Reports from WrestleVotes Radio and Fightful Select say internal discussions are already happening, though his role is still up in the air, anything from a surprise appearance to a special referee spot, not necessarily a match. Austin has been upfront about his physical limits after knee replacement surgery, admitting he's nowhere near full strength and has no plans to wrestle again, despite praising Kevin Owens for keeping him safe during their WrestleMania 38 clash. While WWE hasn't locked in how they'll use the Texas Rattlesnake, all signs point to the return happening very soon, possibly as early as the Royal Rumble, and fans are already waiting for that iconic glass-shattering moment one more time.